And we are back with episode number 20 something of my Richard Corben comic collection. Magazine edition number, who knows? I don't know. Just check the title and get all that information there. Hey, listen, this is another heavy metal special. I've been picking up a lot of those actually, and I'm going to shine a special spotlight once again on Champion Comics, Phoenix's newest comic book shop. I can't say enough good things about them. I've done at least 3 videos talking about Champion Comics and showing you some of the stuff in their store. So I'll just say this: if you're looking for comic magazines, they have the biggest selection of comic magazines in the country. If there's a bigger selection, I'd love to know. I know that they have at least somewhere around 150 to 200 boxes of strictly comic magazines. Most every magazine you can think of comic wise. There's at least 100 boxes in the store, and then he's got tons still in storage or processing, or collections he hasn't gone through yet. But yeah, if you're looking for anything in particular, just give him a call. Comic Comics out of Phoenix, Arizona. If you're looking for high grade comic magazines, he's got them. Trust me. Let's just get right into it. Anyway, all of these books I'm going to show you today came from Champion Comics. Did I say? I didn't say Cosmic Comics, did I? Champion Comics. Champion Comics. We do have a Cosmic Comics here too, but we're gonna focus on these heavy metals that I got from Champion Comics right here in Phoenix, Arizona. The first one I want to show you is December from 1978, and of course, we're strictly gonna focus on Richard Corben. This particular book is has a story. A Corben story is Sinbad in the land of Jinn. I've started seeing a lot of these Sinbad stories, which I haven't seen since I was like very, very young. So let's take a look at it, because I don't get to see him that often. Ooh. And wow, I just never get sick of this beautiful artwork. Let's take a look at some of this artwork by Corben in this Sinbad story. I know this next page, there's a really cool spread on here. Check this out. Check this out. I mean, is that just... Look at the colors, man. I cannot say that enough. I mean, there's a reason why Richard Corben is the champion, the legend that he is. I mean, this is just great, incredible artwork by this guy. Does anybody know, and I kind of mentioned this in one of my last videos, does anybody know if all of these Sinbad stories appear in one book somewhere? And the reason I'm asking is, I actually would much rather read them all in one book than to go from magazine to magazine to magazine, or I have to track down and know that I have all of the magazines before I can actually look at that story. So if anybody can help me out with that, let me know. Also, what is this handwriting? Is that French down at the bottom? Can somebody explain to me what that means to have that at the bottom of the magazine opposed to a barcode or just the heavy metal little thing down there at the bottom? I know it's got something to do with the way comics are sold or distribution or something. I don't know. Let me know if you know about that stuff. Let's move on to January of 1983. This has Den 2 in it. Den 2 is obviously different from Den 1. Am I right on that? Because I have the Den run on comic book. I've shown you those already. And of course, we've looked at a number of the Den that have appeared in heavy metal. But I'm pretty positive, actually, that those are definitely two different stories. But where does Den 2 appear in its entirety? Somebody help me out with that. I know some Corben experts out there that know the difference. This is Den 2. I'm not going to show this because the Den 2s kind of be a little bit more raunchier. And then even the Den, the regular Den, you know, you guys are well informed about Den, so we don't need to take a real heavy look at that one either. This is May 1980. The story that appears in this one, they did the crazy Marilyn Monroe thing. The story in here is called Spirit of the Beast. Let's just take a quick look at that and see what that might be all about. I got a really, really good deal on these over at Champion. But like I said, he's got reader copies all the way up until like perfect mint copies. So that's what the intro page looks like. Just want to get a feel of what this story might be about. So we got the castle, we've got the maiden in distress, you got the whole knight in shining armor type of thing. Okay, so that whole old school medieval type of vibe we got to this story. I do believe this seems to be a one-off type of story, but yes, it's a one-off type of story because it definitely has an ending there. So I'll go back and take a closer look at that at some point. And yeah, that's it. Spirit of the Beast with the Marilyn Monroe four-legged weird. Let's just move on. All right, this one is May of 1977. I know that this one features a Den story, so we won't dive too deep into that one. Sorry for the little glare there. Let's get a closer look at that cover. So just in case you see it, you know, hey, Corben's definitely in that book because Daryl showed me. This one, this cover's kind of fly. I give it that, kind of artsy. This is June of 1981. So check that out. Got the little lady there with some wings. Cool for a cover. I don't know if I'd ever want to see that in person. I'm walking through the jungle, hear something up in the tree, and look up and see that. And that's not the kind of day I'm trying to have, if I'm being honest. The Corben story in here is Bloodstar. Definitely heard of Bloodstar before. I almost feel like there's a Bloodstar book out there somewhere. Is there? Somebody help me with that. Let's find this and see what they're talking about in here. This might be another one-off story. This looks like another... Yeah, it kind of looks like this first few pages kind of reminds me of that Conan era of history, if you will, of back in the day stuff. That seems to be where this is going. Oh, okay, we got some monster stuff going on in here. Looks like it's the zombie theme has entered the storyline. So yeah, that gives me a pretty good idea of what that's all about. You know what I noticed in here too is that I've been noticing this a lot, that there's been different advertisements that Corben has done, whether if it's an advertisement for the magazine or an advertisement for some of his books, his work. But the other cool thing about this particular issue is they actually do a really cool, nice Richard Corben interview in here. And as you may or may not know, Corben didn't do a whole lot of interviews, so um, that'll be interesting to read. I wonder if there's a reason why he didn't talk out so much. I know there's stuff that's explaining why. Um, while I'm thinking about this, like a while back when I, first started looking for all of this Corben stuff, I was Googling him and I came across this website. And basically this website cataloged all of his works, like everything he ever did. And I was like, oh, this is incredible right now. This is cool. And I was like, okay, now I know where to come when I'm looking, when I need stuff, things that I'm kind of filling in for these cracks or whatever. And when I went back to look for it, like stupidly, I didn't save the page. I'm notorious for doing stupid stuff like that from time to time. But I didn't save it, and I can't remember what it was called. Does anybody know of that website or whatever? Because basically it said right away, hey, here's every piece of work that Corben has ever done. And I thought that was my go-to, and I couldn't find it. Somebody let me know if you know what that is. Continuing on, this is August of 1977. And so far, none of these have been Corben covers. He's just featured on the inside. So, yeah, there's that. But there's a little better close-up of the cover. This book features Den. Okay, so we won't focus on this issue, but yeah, you need to keep that cover in mind if you're out there digging for it. Here's another. I forgot what this artist's name was, but my homeboy has been talking about this guy. What does it say? Biz or B or something like that? I don't know. This dude's got some crazy artwork. This is March of 1999. Check that out. That's not Corben, by the way. This is some other art dude or whatever. There's a story in here called The Rats in the Walls. And I think I did take a look in here. And this is definitely another one-off type of story. Well, let's find it and take a quick look anyway. Whoever this cover artist is, I'm sorry I can't think of his name. Let me try to find his name. I recognize him from doing some other comic book work. I just can't remember what books. I know I have some regular comic books that feature him. Simon Goldwater, would that be his name? Whoa. All right. Let's get back to Corben. The Rats in the Walls. Okay, so I don't know. Some castle action going on as our intro. And then this next page, this guy's like covered in rats. Let's take a look at that. Like, check that out. Look at that fool. He's in a bad place. And then check out the art on there. Yeah, so I guess the title is pretty self-explanatory. Wow, look at this. Like, look at these faces. Look at those expressions. Look at that one. And then check this guy out right here. Man, I could never get enough of Corben. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Definitely be pulling these out. And as I mentioned, I am finally being able to sit back and really focus on some of these books. I picked up Den. I had read like half of that series, or like 2/3 of it, and so now I'm finally gearing towards the end of that actual book. I think I'm going to go back and read Banner again, which so far is like my favorite, more modern book, if you will, that Corben did. The Banner one is incredible. Then maybe I'll tackle the Luke Cage after that. March of 1980. Here we got a little woman who forgot her clothes or something for some reason. This is the Beast of Wolfton. That's the story that appears in this book. I do believe I showed. Some art from one of the last videos of this story. But let's just take a quick look, because I certainly don't remember what this was about. Okay, let's see. Yeah, definitely back on that. Back in the day, medieval type of stuff, medieval era or whatever. Almost like I don't know, what would you say, Viking days or whatever. Castles and catapults and all of that. Got some monster action going on in here. Right on, right on. This definitely is a continuous story that stretches over several issues. Again, is that all compiled into any one book? The Beast of Wolfton? Somebody let me know where I can find that, or if that even exists. Got a few more to show you. This is January of 1982. That's another Den 2 story. I don't know. Let me just take a quick look. Let's take a quick look at Den 2. See if I can show you anything. If I could even find it. Oh, they stuck him way in the back. Yeah, we won't be showing anything from Den 2. Let's just move right along here. Oh boy. Let me give you another good look at that cover. I don't know what that is. Some type of futuristic MRI machine or something. I don't know. Let's look at our last one. This is December of 1979. That's the Ralph story, a continuation of that story. I know we looked at this in one of the past videos. Let's take a quick look at this again. Now, I have the one-off comic of Ralph. It's weird to say. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But this obviously, if this is stretching over several issues, then it's got to be a lot longer of a story. So are they two different stories, or is it the same story just stretched out in all of these books? You guys let me know, because I need your help. That's why I'm here, because I'm looking for some insight from you guys as well. Definitely some werewolf flavor, but looks like there's a whole lot more monsters than just that guy. Now, the comic book that I have, that I showed you in a past video, I've never gotten around to reading that as of yet. So I'm not sure what that story is actually all about. But and then, yeah, there's two different covers of the actual comic book. I'm positive I've shown you both of those covers, but not at all familiar with the actual story. So there you have it. This is another heavy metal edition since I've been picking up a lot of those. Again, thank you much to Phil over at Champion Comics here, your comic magazine headquarters, if you will. Thank you guys for hanging out. There's more. You know, I only show you guys so much per video, but I have a lot more to show you. A lot more to show you. There's some even way more interesting stuff coming up in future videos, so you guys continue to hang out with me if you would please. All right? This is Daryl D signing off. Thanks a lot. You guys be safe.